Hi, thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope everyone is doing really well. So first off, I want to apologize once again for any buzzing or strange sounds you might be hearing. It is technical difficulties. Also, the heat is on. I apologize if you can hear the heat. So today's reaction is to a video from Greg Doucette entitled 80% of Men Are Ugly. So I know a while ago he reacted to a girl who was voicing her annoyance at being approached at the gas station, and he was saying like, give guys some slack, and there was a lot of retaliation against what he had to say, and she is in the thumbnail. That video is in the thumbnail, so I want to see what's the deal. I would say that I can understand why a girl would be annoyed about being approached at a gas station of all places. Not to be stereotypical, not to assume, but not the greatest people hang out at gas stations. Just saying, at least around here, not the greatest people hang around gas stations. Most gas stations around here are also a liquor store, like full liquor store, so put two and two together. Not fun. So you never know who's approaching you. You don't know how they're going to react if you reject them. You don't know if they are all there, if you know what I'm saying. So it can be a really scary situation. And at a gas station, I know for myself, I just want to get my gas and go, which is what she said as well. So let's see what this video is all about.
Some have strict physical attributes from their must-haves list, as an OkCupid study found that women find 80% of men unattractive.
And so regardless of this list, they still find 80% of men to be unattractive. And so if you're not in the top 20%, the Chads, well, what is the point?
First and foremost, the first thing that pops up on a dating app is a photo. If I am not attracted to your photo, that first photo, I'm not gonna visit your profile, I'm not gonna swipe through your photos, and I'm not gonna, swipe right on you. I can't remember which direction it is. I'm not gonna say yes to you unless I'm attracted to you. Attraction is very important. I know that people all the time, men are visual creatures. Well, guess what? Women are visual creatures too. So honestly, you've got one photo to catch someone's eye. Guys need to learn how to take a good photo. Just saying.
Coach Greg, and in today's video, well, men, we're all ugly. We're not worthy of the female attention. And so women, they have unrealistic beauty standards for men, but yet they'll sit there and do up their hair, put on makeup, cover everything that they have, and then filter out any blemishes. And so you wonder why women think men aren't good enough. It's because they themselves don't think they're good enough.
Hold it. I love Greg Doucette, but no. Putting on makeup does not mean I don't think I'm good enough. I like putting on makeup, period. I am good enough, period. These two things don't have anything to do with each other, okay? I do my hair. Never.
And so in today's video, we're gonna find out why. Why is this from a women's perspective? And so I'll be going over Courtney Ryan's video talking about how 80% of men are deemed as being unattractive by women.
Women find 80% of men unattractive, says crazy study. And this was in 2018, so this is nothing new. I just recently found out about this. I didn't know about it.
And so in this 2018 study, they discovered that 80% of women find men to be unattractive and or ugly. And we already know women, they have crazy high standards, far above what they should be. Their ideal man must possess great abs, a sense of humor, a six-figure income, and a nice car.
Only one of those things is on my list of attributes that my partner should have and does have.
And if you never watched my last video, they also gotta be 6 freaking feet tall.
No.
And so what chance do the guys actually have?
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm kind of tired of boo-hoo men. Oh, you can't get a date. Women can't get dates either. I guess that's a controversial take. Women get rejected too. Okay, maybe it happens more often with men, but like, that's not a woman's problem. Maybe there's something about that man that she finds unattractive. It might not be his looks.
No matter how selective a woman might be, some have strict physical attributes from their must-haves list, as an OkCupid study found that women find 80% of men unattractive.
And so regardless of this list, they still find 80% of men to be unattractive.
When I was on dating apps, for every 20 people I said no to, I passed on, yeah, I'd probably say yes to 1 out of 20. And it's not even that like I found the person ugly. I just was not attracted to them. I can find people attractive. However, I am not attracted to them. I think that's the case for most people. At least I would hope it's the case for most people, but I don't know.
And so if you're not in the top 20%, the Chads, well, what is the point?
Very average-looking women would be on there requesting men who make over $100,000, who are over 6 feet. They want like a $200,000 engagement ring.
Ew. Okay. Like, I might talk down about men, who are throwing a little pity party. That is not me saying that women are like perfect angels either. Women who like expect what'd you say, 200,000 engaged? Oh, like, ew. First of all, diamonds are ugly as fuck.
Ring.
And so imagine these demands. They're average looking, yet their guy has to be hot, make a ton of money, and buy them a $200,000 engagement ring, and be at least 6 feet tall. Because I know that's just so important.
See, here's the thing that I think. If I can't buy it for myself, why should I expect someone else to buy it for me? Like, if you want a $200,000 engagement ring, you should be able to go out and buy yourself a $200,000 engagement ring. So why are you expecting someone else to do it for you if you can't even do it for yourself?
So I put together some thoughts of mine after reading this article of like, why are women so picky on dating apps specifically?
Well, honestly, when you're on a dating app, it's kind of not their fault. There's way more men on dating apps than women. And so they're being shown hundreds of guys. And so why not pick the hottest ones? I mean, after all, if you're shown 100 different pictures, are you not going to just message the top 10? Are you going to message all of them? Of course not.
And all you really have to base an opinion on is how attractive he is in his photos, right? If you're not that attractive and you suck at taking photos of yourself, you're screwed.
Guys, take better photos. Learn to take better photos. I mean, I'm not like an expert. I am not like the master of taking selfies or being in photos for that matter. And when it comes down to it, I can take, a decent photo. Also, it helps to take more than one and then pick the best one. Taking one and being like, that's good enough. No, it's not good enough. Sorry, try again.
Another thing is this. Women, they take hundreds of photos. You're out with your friends taking selfies. I know I go out with Allie, and it's take a picture of me. Let's do this. Let's cheers that. It's always a photo. That one's not good enough. Take another one. Do the guys look at the photos and say, delete that one? I wasn't smiling properly. Delete this. I don't look so good. Of course not.
It's awesome to find someone like that. He probably is more picky than me. Because I'm like, oh, I look like shit. And he's like, no, we can take it again. But we've already taken it 4 times. And I look like shit in all of them. I might just look like shit.
Women, delete. Let's take another photo. Now I look good. Post that one. They have their hair done, makeup did, and they use Photoshops and filters. Guys, we take a photo, shirt off in the change room, post it, we think we did good. We don't cover our blemishes. We don't have our hair done all professionally.
I know many guys who touch up their photos far more than I or like half the women I know.
And there's good news and some bad news. The good news is when you're actually in person with someone, they can judge you a lot better. And an app, they're going to judge you a lot more strictly than if you're actually talking to them face to face. Perhaps you don't take great photos or you're just not as attractive, but when you're talking to someone face to face, they get to know your personality and who you are as a person. They can see your confidence, see how you're dressed, and so on. The bad news is, as she describes, a lot of women are going to roast people on TikTok or make fun of you or think you're a creep for going and approaching women. I was quite literally canceled on TikTok a number of times for defending a guy who hit on a girl at the gas station. Oh, heavens forbid you go and compliment someone at the gas station.
Yeah, like I said at the beginning of this video, this woman was in the right to be critical and annoyed and uncomfortable. You have to be diplomatic as a woman being approached in public. Like, you just do. And if you are not looking for that, it's going to be annoying. And you have every right to be annoyed. It's not that guy's fault for approaching me, but it is his fault for how he chooses to approach me. And that can be criticized.
So then also here, there's a chart of how men rank women on the dating app versus how women rank men. And they're clearly, pretty different.
And to me, this chart says it all. Look at how men rate women versus how women rate men. And so men, they rate women accurately. It's on a bell curve, with some people being ugly or unattractive and some being extremely beautiful, good-looking, extremely attractive. But women, on the other hand, they view men differently. It's a skewed chart. Most men, ugly, and hardly anyone attractive. Does that make sense?
Yes. I would say that the most guys, they're and this is just based off their initial photo, the first photo that they have chosen to be their cover photo, to be the thing that catches your attention and makes you want to know more. And I would say, yeah, the majority of that photo of guys falls under the lower end to in the least attractive direction. I would not go as far as to say hideous, ugly. That would be a very minor percentage. I would say most of them are that over there, where this is showing. However, in my experience, I definitely would say there is not equal to, but there are, I would say, a higher percentage than 5 or 2% in the, like, more towards the more attractive category. But yeah, the majority of guys are unattractive on dating apps. That's not to say ugly, that's not to say hideous, just not as attractive as other people. It's not unattractive, it's just not as attractive.
On dating apps specifically, it is no surprise that women get far more options and matches than men do. I mean, dating apps are skewed to be in the favor of women.
And so, sorry guys, there's simply more men on dating apps, hence more competition. And so you're gonna have a harder time getting a woman to match with you than you would in the real world.
And again, as the article mentioned, studies have shown this to be true for even, average looking women or women who aren't maybe that attractive in the grand scheme of things either. And I don't say that to be hurtful or mean.
And I've seen this before, multiple videos. Women who are perhaps 100 pounds overweight saying, oh, I wouldn't date that guy. He's not over 6 feet tall. Really? And so you don't work out, you let yourself go, you're 100 pounds overweight. That guy with a six-pack, he's not good enough because he's only 5'10". Really?
You need to be self-aware, and that's the case for like anything, not just dating and matching with people. Like, be self-aware, know what you're working with. But if you have these like high standards and like you refuse to give anyone a chance that doesn't meet those standards, yeah. And when you yourself like get mad when people say you don't meet their standards, like, a little hypocritical.
But if a guy says, oh, I'm not attracted to her, she's morbidly obese. Oh, let's cancel him. What a horrible guy for saying what he thinks.
Whether it be straight up Photoshop or a filter, almost every single woman I see online is altering their photos.
I don't even know what women look like anymore. Everyone's got so much filtered, I don't even know what age they are. Are you 20, 60? I have no clue. I can't see a wrinkle.
Oh, you want to see a wrinkle? Shit, I've got those. I am a 90-year-old woman. Sometime I'll show you my teacup collection.
Oh, everything is cleared out. They look white.
It's called a ring light. That's called a ring light right there.
I used to use filters on my Instagram story, and I would take videos and photos of myself, and like, you look totally different, and then you go look in the mirror and you're like...
And so they might think it's helping them, the women, they're footing their filters, but then they see what they look like with the filter, and then when they see what they look like in the real world, they're not happy.
That is why I stopped editing my photos and I just started posting them on social media as I take them. I did not want my expectation of me to be a filter.
And so your mental health goes to shit because you set yourself up with unrealistic beauty standards. You're wearing makeup, hair extensions, filters, and so when you actually look at yourself without all this, you can't get out of the house. Oh, I can't go to my friend's house. It takes me 2 hours to get ready. No, let's just go over. No, how could I let them see what I really look like?
Many women out there are beautiful, don't get me wrong. So many women don't even need filters or Photoshop or any of that, but yet they're still using them so they look even better.
We all should feel attractive enough that we can show ourselves to the real world without having to alter our appearance.
I don't think anybody needs to use filters and Photoshop and stuff like that. No one needs to do that. It doesn't matter what level of attractiveness you have naturally. You don't need that shit.
And if your friends judge you for not being attractive enough because you never put on enough makeup, well, screw them. They're the ones that are messed up. You do you. Be happy. Be proud of how you look natural.
It took me a lot of swipes to find a dude who wasn't hard to look at. For the first time, I couldn't blame women for barely swiping right. Is it really high standards, or are many dudes not as average as we think?
You can't have 80% of the people being ugly. The world is a bell curve. You can't have 80% in the shitter and only 20% that look good. And so that is an example of the problem.
What I am attracted to and what I truly like, for me personally, like I find attractive, I'm attracted to, I have different types. I find a variety of things attractive. So I'd like to ask the women who were, questioned for this study, who is their like attractive standard that you were comparing these men to? I definitely have a very broad variety of men and looks that I am attracted to.
They've set the bar too high and they no longer look what's realistic. But in that person and other women's defense, it's not really their fault. They're on social media and being presented with very attractive people over and over again. And so if you're on social media, Instagram, YouTube, and so on, you're being presented with the cream of the crop. And so your brain, it adapts to that. It thinks, wow, all these people are very good looking. Oh, this morning I looked at 50 guys and 40 of them had a six-pack with their shirts off, and they all had great bodies and they were in amazing shape. That's because you're on Instagram swiping and it's presenting to you the people with the most followers, the best stories, the best bodies. And just think of it. Let's use the beach as a random sample. You go to the beach. How do most people look? Do most people look like they have six packs, that they're in amazing shape, no cellulite, and they're 8s, 9s, and 10s? Of course not.
A lot of you are very handsome. You just maybe weren't the best at taking photos, or you weren't utilizing your best photos as the first photos.
Thank you. Yes, you're not good at taking photos and you're not picking the right photo to be the first photo. I'm sorry. Like picking books, the cover needs to grab my attention.
I mean, I don't know if people on dating apps don't have any intelligence. Are they perhaps the dumbest people in the room because they're showing their ugly photos first? I mean, is it not common sense? You're on a dating app, you're going to show 5 or 10 pictures, you're picking the best 5 or 10 photos? Oh, I know. I'll lead off with this ugly photo of me, and I hope I'll get a bunch of matches. Who would do that?
Men.
You show your best photo. If it's not your best photo, you haven't asked around, hey, what do you think? How do you like this photo? Yeah, that's a really good picture of you. Put that on your dating app. Hey, what do you think of this photo of me? It's not your best. Don't show it. Does that take rocket science? Are people on dating apps really this dumb?
Yes, they are. And then try having a conversation with them.
You'd be surprised what a difference good clothes and a haircut plus proper angles and lighting can make. Most guys don't know or don't care about that or think it's gay.
And so she makes a good point. As shallow as people are, it still can't hurt to look your best. I mean, is it really going to hurt you to try to look presentable, like getting a haircut, brushing your teeth, wearing some nice clothing? Trying to get a few good pictures of yourself from the right angle with the right lighting?
I mean, there are so many different things that go into physical attractiveness and your appearance. And I do think it's evident when people put in effort versus people who don't put in effort.
Put effort into that first photo. Put effort into all your photos. Put effort into your personality. Put effort into your physical appearance. Put effort into your health, into your well-being. Put effort in. Put effort in, and effort will be given to you. Maybe it's 80% of people are ugly. I don't know. I hate to say that there are truly ugly people in the world, like physically ugly people in the world. Physical appearance, at least in my mind, is not the only factor when it comes to beauty. There's more to a person than that, and maybe people just need to learn to look deeper. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to end the video here. So thank you so much for clicking on the video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you did not enjoy it, you can give it a thumbs down. That is cool too. I do not mind. Anyway, if you have any comments, questions, video suggestions, anything at all, feel free to leave that in the comment section below. If you're not subscribed already, please consider subscribing and be sure to hit the notification bell to stay notified of all future uploads. And be sure to go follow me over on Instagram, and I will see you next time. Bye!